All right, so for the last couple of years, we've all gotten pretty used to talking to AI, right? But what's happening right now is a way bigger shift. We're moving into a world where AI starts acting for us. And this change, well, it's creating some absolutely incredible breakthroughs, but also some real chaos online. Let's dive in.
What we're seeing is what a lot of folks are calling a phase change for AI. For the past few years, it's all been about generation, getting an AI to write some text or spit out some code or create a cool image. But now, the real revolution is all about execution. It's about AI actually going out and performing complex tasks in the world on our behalf.
And yeah, this slide just lays it out perfectly. We're moving away from the era of generation, where we're just chatting with a machine, to the era of execution, where we're actually delegating real work to it. It's the difference between having a creative partner to bounce ideas off of and having a real teammate that you can trust to get the job done. Okay, so agent. It's the new buzzword, right? We're hearing it everywhere. But what does it actually mean? How is an agent any different from the chatbots and assistants that we've all been playing around with? Think of it like this. An agent is a program that can go off and do things on its own. You don't have to hold its hand through every single step. You just give it a goal, something like, hey, book me a flight to Zurich for next Tuesday. And it just figures it out. It observes, it acts, and it gets it done. So how does this actually work under the hood? This slide breaks it down into the three crucial parts. First up, you've got the model. That's the brain, right? The large language model doing the thinking. Then you have the tools. Think of these as its hands and feet. These are the things it can use to actually do stuff, like searching the web or sending an email. But the secret sauce, the most important part, is the orchestration layer. This is the logic that lets the agent reason, make a plan, and decide which tool to use and when. It's that combination that makes it truly autonomous. Google's research team came up with a really great analogy for this. An agent is kind of like a chef in a super busy kitchen. It gets the order, that's the info. It plans out the recipe, that's the reasoning, and then it starts chopping and cooking, that's the action, all to get to that final dish. And this is super cool. It shows you how these agents actually think. A lot of them use a framework called REACT, which stands for reason and act. It's a pretty simple loop. It looks at the question, has a thought about what to do, takes an action with one of its tools, and then it observes what happened. That observation then informs its next thought and its next action. It just keeps repeating that loop until the job's. Now, this isn't just some cool idea on a whiteboard. This new agentic power is already creating some mind-blowing breakthroughs in science and productivity. It's solving problems that have had us stumped for decades.
Let's look at a real-world example. In materials science, an AI system from MIT called CREST was given a single task: find a new material for fuel cells. It went off on its own, ran the experiments, and discovered a catalyst that is 9.3 times more efficient than what we use today. That's not a small improvement. That's a massive leap forward for clean energy.
And it's not just in energy. Look at healthcare. The very first drug designed completely by an AI, rentasertib, just passed human clinical trials. A process that normally takes years and billions of dollars, AI is now compressing down into just a few months. It's honestly staggering. And of course, the brains behind all of this had to get a massive upgrade too. As you can see here, we've moved past models that just predict the next word. The newer models are using what scientists call System 2 thinking. So instead of just giving a fast gut reaction answer, they can now actually pause, think through a complex problem, and create a whole multi-step plan before they even act. It's a huge shift from being reactive to being truly proactive. But, and this is a huge but, there's a flip side to this coin. At the exact same time all these amazing things are happening, this very same technology is also fueling a completely different reality. One filled with cultural confusion, digital decay, and a full-on authenticity crisis. Yeah, because when the cost to create incredibly realistic media drops to basically zero, you get something new. Something people are calling the Slop economy. This is content that isn't made for humans. It's made for algorithms. The only goal is to get clicks, to go viral, no matter how weird or nonsensical it is. And I'm sure you've seen this stuff. You've probably scrolled right past it. Things like Shrimp Jesus on Facebook, where AI just churns out bizarre images to game the engagement of older users. Or over on TikTok, you've got the Italian brain rot trend. These aggressive, surreal AI videos that are just pure digital nihilism. But it all really hit a boiling point when an entirely AI-generated country song by a totally fake artist named Breaking Rust actually hit #1 on the Billboard charts. The song was a banger, but its success created an uproar in Nashville and made all of us ask, what does art or authenticity even mean anymore?
So you've got these two totally opposite futures happening at the same time. On one hand, incredible breakthroughs. On the other, this digital chaos. Which leaves us with a really important question. What's our role in all of this? I came across this personal journal entry from someone who was learning to use these new tools, and it just nails the mindset shift we all have to make. That old fear of AI is going to take my job has to change into an understanding that, no, AI is going to free me up to do the really important stuff.
And that's really the big lesson here, isn't it? Our whole relationship with technology has to change. The days of just passively scrolling, of just being a consumer of this tech, those days are over. To really make it in this new world, we have to be way more active. If you want to thrive, you have to stop being just a user and start becoming an agent yourself, the one in the driver's seat. And this slide gives a great roadmap. First, start using what are called Level 3 agents, tools that can handle complex, multi-step jobs for you. Second, learn the vibe stack. That's basically the set of tools you use to direct an AI's creative style, so you're creating something unique, not just generic junk. And finally, the last two are about awareness. Get in the habit of trust but verify, and keep an eye on the real-world limits of AI, like the massive amounts of energy it needs, because that's going to shape what's next. Ultimately, this whole phase change isn't just about the technology changing, it's about our role changing right along with it. The era of the passive user, well, it's officially done. So the only real question left is, are you ready to become an agent?